When I hit the big 3-0, I decided to throw myself a birthday bash, but no one showed up. A week later, my mom sent me an invitation for Dad's 50th celebration, with a steep price, $900 per guest. Then, without even an apology, my mom sent me a bill labeled "Mommy." I sent her $1 along with a note that just said, "Congratulations," and I changed the locks on my doors, blocking every number in my phone. 2 days afterward, my sister tried to access our joint account but was immediately blocked. Soon after, they filed a report claiming I was missing. The police even showed up at my doorstep. Somehow, I turned 30 and thought about throwing myself a little party just to mark the milestone. I wasn't expecting much, just a handful of family members, some drinks, and maybe a few laughs to remember the day. I booked a cozy spot at a local bar lounge, bought a cake, and sent out invitations. As the evening drew near, I kept checking my phone repeatedly. 7 p.m., nothing. 8 p.m., still nothing. By 9, I realized they weren't coming. The bartender looked at me with a sympathetic half-smile. "You all right, man?" he asked gently. I forced out a laugh. "Yeah, I guess I'm just running a little late." He nodded, then set a glass of whiskey on the house in front of me. I thanked him, took a small slice from the untouched cake, and ate it alone, trying to ignore the pitying looks from the other patrons. By around 10 p.m., I finally gave up. I packed up the cake, left a tip, and walked home, replaying every message I'd sent. Was I missing something? Did I screw up somewhere? Was there some inside joke I missed? A week later, I was in the middle of a work call when my phone exploded with a group text. It was from my mom. I swiped to read it. It said, "Hey family. Your dad's 50th birthday is coming up. We're doing it at the Lakeside Resort. It's going to be an unforgettable night." The message continued, "Cost is $1,900 per person. Please send the money via Venmo by Friday. Love you all." I stared at the screen, feeling stunned. Was this some kind of sick joke? No mention of my own birthday, no apology for ignoring my party, just a demand for cash. Before I could process it, my sister chimed in. "Already sent, Mom. Can't wait. Dad's going to love it." Then my brother chimed in too. "Same here. Looking forward to it." That's when I felt something snap inside me. I hadn't even received a simple happy birthday message from any of them, no calls, no texts, nothing. And now they wanted me to fork over almost $2,000 for Dad's birthday. I thought about saying something, but instead, I just opened Venmo, sent $1 with a note that read, "Congratulations," and changed the locks once again. I blocked every family member's number and sat down feeling a strange sense of relief. 2 days went by with no contact. I almost thought they'd finally gotten the message, until I saw an alert from my bank, "Unauthorized attempt to access the joint account." I couldn't help but chuckle. Of course. I logged into the account, closed it immediately, and transferred the rest of the funds to a private account. Not long after, my sister tried calling me from a different number, but I ignored it. Then, on the third night, just as I was settling into a movie, I heard a loud, frantic knock at the door. I peeked through the peephole, and saw 2 police officers standing outside. I cautiously opened the door. "Can I help you?" I asked. The taller officer cleared his throat. "We received a report about a missing person." I stared back at them, trying to make sense of what I was hearing. "Am I Greg Carter?" I asked. "Yes, but I'm definitely not missing," I added quickly. The shorter officer looked at his notes. "Your family reported you missing, claiming they haven't been able to reach you for days and are worried." I let out a bitter laugh. "Did they also tell you I blocked all their numbers?" I asked. The officers exchanged a look. "Mind telling us why?" the taller one prompted. I sighed and rubbed my forehead. "They've been trying to access my accounts and take money," I explained. I just blocked them to protect myself. The shorter officer raised an eyebrow. So, you're okay? Just avoiding contact. Exactly, I said firmly. I'm not missing. I'm just done with all of them. They hesitated a moment. Would you be willing to call them and let them know you're fine? That'd clear things up, one of them suggested. I considered it for a moment, then shook my head. No way. If they keep bothering me, I'll just file a restraining order, I replied. The officers nodded, clearly relieved I wasn't in crisis. Understood. Let us know if the situation gets worse, they said before turning to leave. I felt a strange victory until one of them stopped at the door. Mr. Carter, one last thing, the taller officer said with a more serious tone. If your family can't reach you, they might escalate things. Be prepared. I frowned. What do you mean by that? I asked. People can do desperate things when they feel cut off, he warned. If they keep calling us or try anything else, you should be ready. After they left, I stood there frozen at the door. This wasn't over, it was just getting started. I sank onto the couch and stared at my phone. 2 days of silence passed, and I thought they'd finally gotten the message. Then suddenly, my phone buzzed with an unknown number. I ignored it. Another call, from Mom. Declined. Then Dad. Declined again. Finally, I got a text, how could you do this to us? Your father is devastated. I tossed the phone aside and took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. They were trying to guilt-trip me, just the same old game. But I was done. Then, out of nowhere, a pounding on the door shattered the quiet. I looked through the peephole, and it was Mom. Her face was tense, with her lips pressed into a thin, angry line. I nudged the door open just enough to speak. Go home. She shot back, oh, now you're hiding, her voice sharp and accusing. Your father is beside himself, he thinks you've completely lost your mind. I responded coldly, I'm perfectly sane. I've just finally realized I'm done being your walking bank. She looked puzzled. Bank account? Greg, we're your family, she said, trying to push the door open, but I held firm. You don't abandon your family. I didn't turn my back, I just stopped financing your lifestyle. Her eyes flashed angrily. So this is all about money to you? After everything we've done for you? I chuckled. Everything you've done? You mean all the guilt trips? The constant demands? The fact that you couldn't bother to text me on my birthday but had no problem asking for nearly $2,000 for Dad's party? That was different. She snapped, your father deserves a celebration. He's done so much for you. Done so much? Like what, dismissing me every time I shared good news? Ignoring me when I needed some support? Or maybe you're talking about how you had no issue spending my money but couldn't even fake caring. Watch your mouth, she hissed, her hand clutching the door. You're not too old for me to do what? Guilt you? Manipulate you? Those tricks don't work anymore. Just then, a car pulled up behind her dad's. He stepped out, looking every bit the disappointed father figure. Greg, his voice was low and heavy with fake disappointment, what are you doing? Why are you acting like this? I said, I'm acting like someone fed up with being used. You're making this all about money. He finally dropped the facade, shouting, family is about sacrifice, about support. I shook my head. No. Family is about respect. And you've never had any for me. Respect, she said, her voice bitter and sharp. We've done everything for you. And this is how you repay us. Everything for me? You mean letting me cover your house? Your vacations? Megan's wedding? Josh's college? Or how you didn't even bother to show up for my birthday? Your birthday? Dad scoffed, you're 30. Grow up. Yeah, grow up and keep paying your bills. Not anymore. He moved closer, voice softer but firm. We raised you. Fed you. Educated you. You owe us. I shot back, I owe you nothing, voice steady. Not a penny, not a minute, nothing. Mom's voice cracked. You're tearing this family apart. I responded firmly, no, I'm just not letting you destroy me. Without warning, another car arrived. My sister Megan stormed out, voice angry, are you happy now? Mom's been crying all morning. Dad's blood pressure is through the roof. I cut her off, spare me the drama, Megan. This is what you all do. Whenever I stop giving you what you want, you turn into victims. You're so selfish, you know that. She spat, glaring at me. You always think you're better than us. No, I've just finally realized I deserve better than this. Fine, then go be alone. She yelled, turning to my parents. Let's go. Let them rot. But before getting into her car, Mom looked back, face twisted with fury. You'll see, Greg. One day, you'll understand. You'll come crawling back, begging for forgiveness. I smiled, don't hold your breath. They drove off, tires screeching, leaving an eerie silence that felt like the sky after a storm, cold, clear, and quiet. I leaned against the door, my heart pounding, then my phone buzzed. I almost ignored it until I saw the notification. Unauthorized login attempt on your bank account. My heart jolted. They were trying to hack into my account. Another alert popped up, password reset request received. They were desperate, but they didn't get it, because the more they pushed, the harder I fought back. I didn't hesitate. I opened my banking app and checked every account and credit card, locked and secured with two-factor authentication. Then I took it a step further, I called the bank. Yes, this is Greg Carter. I want to put a security hold on any joint accounts with my family's names. The representative asked, are you sure? This will restrict their access entirely. I nodded, I'm counting on it. Next, I contacted the mortgage company. My name's still on the house my parents live in, another favor I'd co-signed for years ago. I wasn't even sure if they were still making payments, but I wanted to be safe. I need to freeze any changes to the mortgage under my name, I told them. Understood, sir, they replied, but this might prevent the account holder from making payments. I agreed, that's what I want. As I hung up, my phone buzzed again, unknown number. I let it ring but then saw the voicemails. They were meandering, desperate. Greg, what are you doing? You're going to ruin everything, my mom's voice implored. You have no idea what you're starting, I thought. Megan's messages. Ignored them. If they wanted chaos, I was ready to give it to them. Then I received an email from my lawyer, brief and straight to the point. Greg, your family has attempted to remortgage the house without your consent. They need your signature. I've blocked their attempt, but they may try other tricks. My jaw clenched. So, they were trying to take full control behind my back. Of course, another call was coming. This time, I answered the phone. Greg, it's Dad. I heard his voice low and almost steady, but I could tell it was a fake calm, the kind that's just waiting to explode into a storm. Make it quick. Why are you doing this? Are you freezing the mortgage? Mom's in tears. We're your family, I responded, but he cut me off. No. I was just your bank account. And now, that's finally over. This is just ridiculous. You're hurting everyone, I told him. I'm just protecting myself, he said. I saw your attempt to remortgage. I know what you're trying to do. There was silence, then a sigh. We're trying to fix things, Greg, he muttered. You're the one making it impossible, I shot back. Fix things. Or are you just trying to take everything while you can? I could hear my blood boiling. You're a burden. Without thinking, I hung up. My hands trembled, but it wasn't from fear, it was pure rage. They thought they could keep using me, draining every ounce of me, then toss me aside like I was nothing. But not anymore. I grabbed my phone and called my lawyer. "Marcus, I want to sell my part of the house. Make it quick." "Greg, that will push them to either buy you out or sell the whole property," he said. That was perfect. Within an hour, the paperwork was sent. The message was clear: either they paid me my share, or they'd lose the house altogether. That's when another text lit up my screen. "You really want to do this, Greg?" it read. I responded, "Megan, you're going to destroy everything. Mom's been crying all day." I told her, "I'm not destroying anything. I'm just taking back what's mine." For an hour, there was only silence, then a new message appeared. "Fine. You want to fight? You got it." I chuckled. They were so sure they could scare me off. But I had more tricks up my sleeve. I opened my email and started drafting a new message. Subject line: Financial Audit, Family Expenses. In the body, I wrote, "Dear Marcus, I want a complete audit of every expense I've covered for this family over the past 5 years, mortgage payments, loans, credit card debts, school fees, everything. Itemized, with dates and amounts. I'd made mistakes. If they wanted to see what I'd done for them, fine." I was ready to lay it out in cold, hard details. But I wasn't finished yet. I sifted through messages, screenshots, and bank statements, gathering every piece of proof of their manipulation, pleas for money, insults, and lies. They thought I was weak, that I'd fold. But they were about to learn what real desperation looked like. A loud knock on the door broke my concentration. I checked the peephole, Megan and my dad, their faces twisted with anger. "Greg, open this door." Dad shouted, his voice muffled but furious. "I'm not opening it," I called out. "We need to talk." "You can't do this," Megan yelled. "Yes, I already did," I replied. "I've done it all. You think you can ruin us and just walk away?" Dad banged on the door again. "You think you're so smart?" "Well, I'm smarter than you thought," I shot back. "Get off my property before I call the cops," I warned. A still, heavy silence fell, then Megan's voice, sharp and low, "You'll see what happens next." They stormed off, and I watched from the window as they argued by their car, pointing toward my apartment. Another message lit up my phone: "This won't end well for anyone." I cracked a small smile. They had no idea what door they'd just kicked open. For the first time in years, I felt free. No calls, no messages, no guilt trips hiding behind family ties. I let the silence settle over me. I kept myself busy, work kept me from dwelling on it. I finally caught up on projects I'd neglected before. I started going to the gym again, reconnected with a few friends, the real ones who stuck around when things got rough. But that peace didn't last long. Soon enough, I got an email from my lawyer. Turns out, my share of the house had been sold. But it wasn't as straightforward as I'd thought. It wasn't even fully theirs. The house still carried a hefty mortgage, and because I co-signed that debt, they couldn't sell it without my signature. Instead of asking me for help, they tried to remortgage the place secretly. I blocked that move immediately. Left them only one choice: sell the house, pay off the mortgage, and give me my fair share. But even that wasn't enough. Selling the house would cover the mortgage, but it would only leave a fraction of what they owed me. I got the detailed financial audit I'd requested. Every dollar I paid for them. Mortgage payments totaled $79,000, Dad's car loan was $16,000, Megan's wedding cost $23,000, Josh's college tuition was $37,000, and I supported the family during emergencies to the tune of $52,000. In total, I'd been owed $203,000, nearly $250,000. And that didn't include the money I lost trying to keep everyone happy. I sent the audit to the family group chat with one short message: I want it all. Every cent. And that's when the chaos kicked in. First, my dad called. "You've lost your mind," he said. "We're your family," I told him, "but you stopped being that the moment you treated me like a walking ATM. So, where do you expect us to get this money?" he snapped. "Sell the house, sell the cars, I don't care. You owe me." "You're destroying us, Greg," he added. "No, I'm just taking back what's mine," I insisted. Next came a text from Megan: "You're so selfish, you know that? Mom's crying, and Dad looks like he's about to die. Are you proud of yourself?" she asked. "Pay up, Megan," I responded. "Or don't. But I've had enough." My mom called next, her voice cracking with emotion. "Greg, please," she begged. "We can't just give you $203,000. We don't have it," she sobbed. "If that's the case," I told her, "then sell everything you can. Get it done. Let's start working for once, maybe. We raised you and gave you everything you needed." "No, I did. I paid for all of it. And now, you're going to do your part too." Days kept passing, turning into weeks. My lawyer kept me in the loop with updates. They put the house up for quick sale, but the market was slow moving. The price wasn't enough to cover the mortgage and what I demanded. So, they ended up selling the cars, first Dad's SUV, then Mom's sedan. And finally, even Megan's car, which I had helped her buy. But still, it wasn't enough. I thought they'd give up, but they didn't. Instead, they reached out to family, begging for loans, spinning their own twisted stories. They told everyone Greg betrayed us, Greg's ruining our lives. Some relatives refused outright. Others gave small loans out of pity, but it wasn't enough to fix things. Then my dad called. His voice sounded raw, almost unrecognizable. "Greg, we sold the house. We sold the cars. We even pawned Mom's jewelry. And still, it's not enough." Then he pleaded, "Keep selling. I want every cent." Silence hung in the air, broken only by a bitter, cracking laugh. "You know," he said, "you're killing us." But I knew better. "No, you killed yourselves the day you decided I was just a bank account," I replied. 2 days later, the money arrived, $203,000, every single cent. I stared at the number and felt a rush of satisfaction mixed with an icy emptiness. I had won, but I wondered, what was the point of winning? And then I got another message from Megan. "You destroyed everything. Mom's crying. Dad won't even talk. We have nothing left. Are you happy now?" she asked. Yeah, I was. But they weren't finished yet. They made one last attempt, another message from my mom. "Greg, we need to talk. You can't just walk away and abandon your family like this." I shot back, "I didn't abandon anyone. I just took back what's mine." "Family isn't about money, Greg," she responded. "But for you, it was. And now, it's not anymore." I blocked her number, blocked my dad, and blocked Megan. Then I went to our family group chat, scrolled to the top, and left the group. For a moment, that twisted, fragile peace settled over me. Silence. Genuine silence. But not for them. I received one last email from my lawyer, telling me they'd been evicted from the house. Couldn't pay rent, couldn't get a new loan, ended up homeless and broken. The family that once used me to keep themselves comfortable was now shattered beyond repair. And yet, I felt nothing, no guilt, no pity, only a sense of freedom. For the first time in years, I was no longer just a bank account. I was just, me. Days turned into quiet evenings. My phone stopped buzzing, my thoughts weren't racing anymore. I wasn't waiting for the next demand or guilt trip. I was simply living. I hadn't been to the bowling alley in years, but tonight when my coworkers suggested it, I didn't hesitate. Life felt peaceful, free from chaos. No more desperate calls, no more guilt trips, just a calm that I hadn't known in a long time. "Greg, you're up," someone yelled. I grabbed the familiar weight of the bowling ball, smooth and comforting. The neon lights flickered over the polished lanes. I lined up, took a deep breath, and rolled the ball. Strike. "Whoa, Carter. You're a natural," a coworker exclaimed, clapping me on the back. I smiled genuinely, feeling good. But then I saw him, 2 lanes over, a man, hunched over, graying, struggling to control a ball that veered into the gutter. He rubbed his face, looking older, smaller. And I knew instantly who he was, my father. My chest tightened. I thought about walking away, pretending I hadn't seen him, but he looked up. Our eyes met. Shock. Shame. Then, a flicker of regret. He hesitated, then slowly approached me. His steps unsure. "Greg," he said quietly. I didn't expect to see him here. I didn't think he'd want to. He glanced at the empty lane beside him. "Would you like to play a round?" he asked. I could have said no, but I didn't. Instead, I nodded. We played in silence, my strikes, his misses. Each roll was like a reminder of the gap between us. He spoke softly, "Everything's gone, you know, house, cars. Your mom's with Megan," I responded. "We've lost it all." He sighed. "I thought we'd be okay. I thought you'd always be there because you used me." I whispered, "I did," with a cracked voice. "And I'm sorry. I failed you. I failed all of us." A bitter laugh escaped me. "You think an apology fixes anything?" "No. But I want you to know," he said, trembling. "I was never as strong as you. Not like you." I pretended. "I hid behind you," he added, his words hanging heavy between us. "I spent years trying to be good enough for you," I said quietly, "but I was never more than your bank account." His eyes lowered. I was jealous, that my own son was better than me. "And I interrupted, "I tried to take everything from you." A surge of anger flickered inside me, but it faded as I looked at him, no longer the towering figure from my childhood, just a small man, defeated. "Why are you telling me this now?" I asked. "Because I have nothing left to hide. And because," he paused, "I'm proud of you, Greg. I always should have been." Silence stretched between us, broken only by the sound of the falling pins. I moved to the lane, threw another strike. That thunder of pins felt like a release. "I'm not coming back," I said softly. "I know," he replied, hesitating before offering a trembling hand. For a moment, I didn't move. Then, slowly, I reached out and shook it. His grip was weak, but real. I started to walk away, the neon signs flickering above me, and the sound of falling pins gradually dying out behind me. I didn't bother to glance back. Outside, the cool night air hit my face, and the city buzzing all around felt invigorating. I took a deep breath, sensing a burden easing from my chest. For the first time in a while, I was not angry. I wasn't feeling trapped anymore. I was simply free.